Hey everybody, welcome. My name's Jill Hermes. I want to welcome you today to Carroll Community College. I'm with Advantage C, which is a service of Carroll Community College. And as you know, we welcome you to join us with our Power Brew webinars that happen monthly. And I'm just going to give you a quick introduction to our guest speaker who will be joining us next week because he's got a great message for you. So many of you may know Mike Manion. He is a faculty member here at the college. We're very happy to have him leading many of our classes. Mike also leads Indestructible Leaders, which helps professionals thrive in high-stress, high-performance environments. Who knows about high stress in their life? Many of us, right? So a lot of times these environments have stress because of change, all kinds of disruptions. So Mike's going to address that with us today. He also teaches with Vantage, a company that runs the Nuclear Regulatory Commission's Leaders Academy and trains Navy SEALs to lead and communicate in life-threatening situations. Pretty significant stuff. Mike previously was a regional executive with 2 CEO organizations, Vistage and Convene. So he's going to speak to us today. And as you know, our Power Brew webinars come on the third Tuesday of every month, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. They're complimentary, and we really like it when they're interactive. So we welcome your questions and your chiming in. But at this point in time, I want to welcome Mike Manion to come speak to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jill. I was sitting in the Town Library on my laptop doing some work for a class I was about to teach the following day when I saw my phone ring. And it was my son, Jake. I picked up the phone. Hey, Jake, how's it going? And he said, Dad, Mom needs you home right away. It's Zach. You got to leave right away. And I could hear a whole bunch of commotion going on in the background. I could hear my son, Zach, screaming his head off. So I hung up the phone, packed my bags, got in the car, and took off. So if you know Town, there's a circle by the Sheets, and then there's Mayberry Road on the way to Westminster. I was about halfway down 140 when, I hear the ambulance in the background, look up into the rearview mirror, ambulance is closing fast, blows right by me, and I'm thinking, this is probably going to my house. I crest the hill, I see the light at Mayberry Road, I see the ambulance turn left, and now I'm absolutely 100% sure the ambulance is going to my house for Zach. So I eventually get home, I walk in the front door, paramedics have Zach secured, they're taking him out along with my wife Heidi. She's going to ride with Zach to the hospital. So I take a few minutes, I give some direction to the kids, I create a plan because I'm not sure how long we're going to be gone. I get in the car and I take off for Carroll. So I walk into the emergency department at Carroll, and if you've ever been there, you know there's a reception desk. So I walk up to the reception desk. I say, I'm Mike Manion. My wife and my son were just here, and they just arrived a few minutes ago. Can you tell me where they are? She said, I'm not sure where they are. Give me a moment. I'll locate them, and I'll come back and get you. So I walk over a few steps away, and I'm very preoccupied, of course, and I'm kind of absentmindedly looking at the security guard station. Which is, it's locked, but there's a big window there so I can see in. And I'm looking at this security guard sitting down monitoring these monitors. And there's some part of the hospital where there's all this hubbub going on. And there are security guards, there's a police officer, something's going down. And all of a sudden the security guard pops up, he grabs his walkie-talkie, he starts talking to somebody. Another security guard comes in and boom, they're out the door. Just a moment later, the receptionist comes up to me, Mr. Manion, I've located your son and your wife, come with me. So we walk into the triage area at Carroll, and she says, go down this hall, take a right, and your family's third door on the left. So I walk through triage, I take the right, and as soon as I look down the hall, about halfway down, I see this big crowd outside of a room. There is a police officer, there are 2 security guards, and there are a bunch of nurses and doctors. So I walk down door number 1, door number 2, sure enough, this is where my family is. So I kind of make my way through the crowd. I walk in, and there's my son, Zach. He's asleep, or what I hope is asleep, on the bed. I see my wife, Heidi. She looks absolutely hysterical and frantic. I don't mean that in a bad way, under incredible stress. And there's 2 more security guards, and the room is packed with medical people. And as soon as Heidi sees me, she rushes over, grabs me, and starts talking frantically about something. I have no idea what she's talking about. And I look around, all eyes are on me, expecting me to make the next move. So time out for just a moment, at the risk of characterizing this story as how you get through a family crisis. It's also important to know that the very next day, I was scheduled to teach a class, which I did indeed teach. It was with a customer that I had never met before, had never taught with before. And in fact, I was teaching someone else's material. It wasn't even my material. Now, I was not unknowledgeable about the subject matter, but it wasn't my stuff. And to make it even more pressure-filled for me, this was a customer that we hadn't done business with in many, many years. And they had given us another opportunity now to restart the relationship. And so the company said, we're going to bring in our big gun, me, and I'm supposed to deliver some wow Shazam experience so that they restart the relationship. So not only did I have this on my plate, which was very high pressure for me, but now I have the medical thing as well. So situations like this are exactly what Stoicism is built for. And that's exactly why we're going to gather on Tuesday from 9 to 10 for the Power Brew. To be more specific, the what's in it for you is for you to be more effective in your high stress, high performance environments, particularly those caused or brought about by change or disruption. So let me repeat that. The what's in it for you of gathering with us next Tuesday from 9 to 10 is that you will be more effective in your high stress, high performance environments, particularly those brought about by change or disruption. So let's say you work with state or local or county government, and because of policy changes and regulation changes, you're now asked to do your job differently. You may have done it very, very effectively for many years, and now all of a sudden you're asked to not only reinvent the way you work, but reinvent the way you act as a worker, to reinvent yourself. And you're probably asked to do that with insufficient resources, whether it's budget, time, or manpower. Or maybe you work for private enterprise. You work for a company, you're growing like crazy. That's a good problem to have, but you're overworked, you're overwhelmed, and the people above you have these incredibly unrealistic expectations for you, and you're supposed to meet them without any hiccup. Or maybe you work in a helping profession. Maybe you serve consumers or clients in a medical profession or a counseling profession, and you're close to being burnt out because you've spent years pouring your emotional energy into people. So it's situations like these for which Stoicism is built. Drilling down even more, regardless of what the external or surface situation looks like. If you're asked to manage multiple priorities, and some of them compete against each other, or you're asked to make very difficult decisions, none of which offer a perfect solution, but you got to make the decision, you got to go with it, you got to make it work out somehow. Or maybe you're in conflict with people that you're wedded to, and that could be literally wedded to. Anyone who has been through hardship knows it takes a tremendous toll on your marriage. It's been brutal on my marriage. Our marriage is better for it, but it's been tough. Or maybe it's figuratively the people you're wedded to, your supervisors, your employees, your shareholders. Regardless, if this is your situation, Stoicism was built for situations just like this. So what is Stoicism? Let's talk about what it isn't real quick. What it is not is this stone-faced, emotionless, stiff upper lip, regardless of the circumstances. That's a common mischaracterization. What Stoicism is an ancient philosophy founded by Marcus Aurelius, who was a Roman emperor. So if you've seen the movie Gladiator, that name probably rings a bell. Yes, Marcus Aurelius really was a person, a real person in history. And he would keep a journal at the end of the day, either coming off the battlefield or out of a meeting with the governors of the Roman Empire or out of a meeting with his wife and his kids, a conversation. And he would journal what worked, what didn't work, real practical, pragmatic stuff. And at some point, years after his death, someone found the journals. They put them together in a book called Meditations, and thus Stoicism was born. So let's wrap by saying this. The last 3 years, without question, have been the hardest 3 years of my life. At times, they have been excruciatingly and crushingly hard. They have become, not right away, but they have become the very best years of my life as well. And I am better and stronger because of it. So if you can, excuse me, join us next Tuesday from 9 to 10 for the Power Brew and find out what you can do and what you can become with tools forged from Stoicism. Thank you so much for listening. How was that?